Good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe. This is Season 3, Round 1 here at the Albert Park Circuit in Melbourne, Australia, and I am JamesHead14. Bit of a delay with the stream, I'm sorry about that. Bit of delay coming onto the stream. I was trying to sort out getting some stuff sorted into the description. I can't, however, put some of the donation links into the description. And of course, we have to take a real view, a real world look at things first, because obviously we are here tonight for one reason only. That is for, of course, League of Europe Season 3 Round 1. But I do want to start off this stream by paying tribute to all of those who have been affected by the Australian bushfire. It's a terrible, terrible thing to be going through. I think as of today there was about 29, I think, people who have passed away as a result of the bushfires. Many people injured, many animals lost as well, many homes destroyed as well. And of course, our thoughts and prayers here at League of Europe are with all of those who have been affected with Australia. We are with you in spirit, and as a result of all of those people who have been passed away and have been affected by the Australian bushfires, we will be taking a minute's silence, which will start from now. Thank you everyone for serving up that minute silence. Of course, we are here for League of Europe Season 3 Round 1 here at the Albert Park Circuit, and of course our thoughts and prayers do go to everyone affected by the Australian bushfires, and I'm sure it inevitably will get worse before it gets better, but all of our thoughts here are with the guys and gals of the Australian nation. But we are here for League of Europe Season 3 Round 1, as I say, and the team reveals were released on Monday, so I can run you through in stream order from that team reveal stream the drivers that you will be seeing out on track this season. Now, the two Haasers aren't here tonight, NWS Gabriel and NWS Zero. They've got prior engagement. I think one of them's working and one of them is ill. We do wish Gabriel well. Hopefully he recovers for next week, of course. But I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, we should have Cohen taking a place in tonight, and Bullet Boy as well. Bullet Boy going to McLaren, and Cohen coming into the Red Bull. I've just seen that within the lobby. In the Williams this season will be Toxic and NSX Lion. I think that's a fantastic team to have. Of course, one brand new driver coming up with Division 2's hottest prospect from last season, Toxic. I think that could be a good team, to be honest, this season. They'll be consistent, that's for sure. Red Bull, we have got Kvyat Campbell and Kvyat Cohen. Cohen actually mistaken, he is a full-time driver and not a reserve driver. I do apologise about that. That's just been clarified to me by flicking through all of the team lineups. Goodness me, I need to do my revision before I come onto the stream, honestly. Again, I think that'll be quite a good lineup. Kvyat are doubly represented here with the two Toro Rossos, in fact, Dakar and Verstappen taking the Toro Rossos as well. So Kvyat have got two teams essentially within League 1, Division 1 I should say, this season. In the Racing Point, it's VRT Schiaparelli and a brand new driver who I have commentated on in the past, but I don't think he's here tonight, Mercurial Caesar. He's the Indian driver, of course, a real prolific driver, and Schiaparelli, of course, you know all about him champion from last season, the German, will be looking to try and gain on Montana, of course, who was not attending here tonight. So it's anyone's to play for, as we've got 17 drivers currently in the lobby. In the Mercedes, we've got a returning face in Harrison David and a brand new driver in Boulogne. We do welcome the Frenchman to League of Europe, and we welcome back Harrison David as well. Again, I think this is going to be a really consistent team. It looks on paper as if it will be the most consistent team, I think, out on the track. We'll have to see when the results start flowing in. In the Ferrari, we have got Larkin and Neal, two familiar faces from last season, of course. Larkin recently joining FRL, I do believe, as well, which I saw him in the Bahrain pre-season race on Thursday. Been hosting everyone with that, and of course Larkin, very consistent driver. And Neal, well, you saw him last season. He came late into last season, but really shone through, and he could be a leading title contender, especially with Montana not being here tonight, the defending champion, of course. Dakar and Verstappen, I've already mentioned too. Verstappen initially was Division 2 last season, was promoted to Division 1 about midway through the season. Dakar, of course, a very consistent driver. He'll also be doing double duty within League of Europe this season. He's driving in Division 1 and he's commentating on Division 2 as well, so that'll be quite interesting. And again, a very consistent team there in the Toro Rossos. In the Alfa Romeo, not the Renaults this season for the two Spaniards, Cantera and Joom, going to be teaming up in the Alfa Romeos. A real fantastic team, of course. Both of these guys do like to give a lot of slipstream to each other out on track in qualifying. I'm sure that's what you'll probably see here tonight in Australia. But Cantera and Joom, really consistent team. If they put the performances in and they stay consistent, again, I think this could be a really good team, and it just adds to the exciting and brand new talent that are coming in to Division 1 this season, as well as the old returning faces from last season. Waluigi and Xjarry take the Renault F1 Team C. Waluigi, of course, finishing third in the championship last season, and Xjarry, of course, a little bit off the pace last season, if I've got to be a little bit picky, but I'm sure he will excel alongside Waluigi in the Renault. And the final team is the Swiss team, I'm going to call them, in the McLaren, the Papaya car. It is NSX Montana, the defending champion, not here tonight. I repeat, not here tonight. And Spine, Bullet Boy, taking Montana's place here tonight. And again, a really good team, both very consistent last season, especially towards the end of the season in regards to Spine. I think he finished 4th or 5th, if I'm not mistaken, within the Division 1 standings last season. So he can build on that progress, and again, was a driver that joined quite early on in the season. I think it was around Monaco or Canada he joined, I do believe. But that is the teams. And let's have a focus then on the track. We are here at Albert Park. 16 turns, 10 to the right, 6 to the left. 3 DRS zones on this track. 1 down the start finish straight. 1 down between turns 2 and 3, and between turns 12 and 13 as well. Down what you could call the back straight here. There's not really a back straight on the Albert Park circuit. And of course, this is a street circuit, so traditionally these apologies, had to clean my throat there. What was I saying? Yeah, around this track, it is a street circuit, so obviously this is getting used up traditionally on a daily basis by cars, buses and lorries, so it really will add to the mix, and it's a perfect starting point for the season here, and we are about 2 minutes away, just under, from the start of qualifying, which will be 18 minutes in length, 50% race. Now, I heard there was a rumour that Larkin was going to change the settings to wet weather. Dynamic is certainly the best weather, I think, to produce a real even performance grid, and I'm sure with the talent that we've got in Division 1, this is going to be really exciting. I'm going to have a check of the comments. I've seen you guys coming through, filtering in the top right hand corner, so I'm going to have a look at the stream now. And of course, I may remind you that we have got donation links within the description. I do believe they'll be getting added very soon, if they haven't already, which I'll check the description. They are not in yet, but the description links will be there. The donation links, sorry, will be there. So we have got several charities coming through for the Australian bushfires. Do give what you can, even if it's 50 pence, even if it's £1. Pretty much the cost of a Freddo these days could be going towards helping someone who is in need and who's been affected by the Australian bushfires directly. Of course, there are human charities, so there's the Red Cross there, and there's also going to be animal charities as well, the Koala Hospital, which was featured actually on This Morning yesterday, which I saw a really fascinating interview about. They were interviewing an old woman, I think she was about 80 years old, hand-rearing a koala from 7 years ago when the bushfires happened, about 7 years ago. Fascinating watch. Of course, I'll try and get that video out to you guys if you do want to watch it. Having a look though at the comments, and there's plenty of comments coming through. To hello to everyone that is tuning in tonight. Let's all cheer on NSX Lion. Well, let's have a check on NSX Lion. Gary saying the minute silence is at the start of qualifying. Well, we'll have 2 minutes silence then, if that is the case. I've just seen that now, so I do apologise about that. There are 2 coins, that's why you're getting confused. Thank you very much for that. And looking at everyone, of course, no Haas drivers tonight, but we will be getting qualifying very shortly. So we are going to take that minute silence now for all of those who have been affected by the Australian bushfires. So we'll do that now. Thank you very much for taking that extended minute silence, I've got to be honest. I tried to go in for 2 minutes there, to be honest. So the first cars are coming now out on track. Bullet Boy and Spine will lead us out on track, and that is probably the best camera angle that you will see this decade. Quite honestly, that is a phenomenal camera angle, so GG Codemasters on that. Medium compound of tyres though for Bullet Boy. He is a reserve driver this season, was a full-time driver, didn't really show up much last season, but when he did, he was quite consistent, and he is filling, of course, in for Montana tonight, with Spine obviously being the other driver in the Papaya car. We've got also quite a few drivers coming out on track. Who are your predictions in the top 3? I've just seen a comment, by the way, the Division 3 stream will be live very shortly indeed, I do believe. It should be live within the next couple of minutes, so hold on to your horses. You can come and watch me if you want. You can stay here and watch the Division 1 drivers, or you can go to Division 3. Take your pick. Of course, we do have Division 2 and Division 4, I think, later on as well at 8 o'clock. But we're coming towards the end of this form on this outlap with Bullet Boy. Everyone opting, I think, to go for probably a set of softs, maybe a set of mediums for the first half of the stint. You should see everyone on a set of mediums. I've been doing a little bit of homework looking at some of the time trial times, and just for a bit of reference, Bualem with a 19 flat, Montana with a 19.3, Dakar with a 19.5, and Harrison David with a 19.6. They're the picks of the time trial times that I was researching about an hour before we came live. So, Bullet Boy is on a lap, and let's ride on board with him as he comes down towards turn 3 at the end of the DRS straight, the second DRS straight here out on track. Now into the twisty section of turn 4, and then if you ride on the curve a bit too much through turn 5, you will get caught out. Bullet Boy managing to do that very nicely indeed. What's his first sector like? To 26.7, so he's there or thereabouts early on through turn 5 and through 6 and 7, then towards turn 8. Through turn 8 he goes now, and then into turns 9 and 10. This tricky little chicane, if you get caught up on the sleeping policeman on the inside, it does throw you off camber of the corner, and that's exactly what we have just seen there from Bullet Boy as he now comes through the sweeping turn 10, now coming through turn 11 and 12, middle sector 49.1, looking not too bad, rode the curve very nicely there indeed. If you get caught up on the curve on the outside of turn 12, you will go for a spin. There's a yellow flag in sector 3, I think it's just people preparing for their laps. Indeed, it's just ahead of Bullet Boy, so everyone just preparing for their laps there. But Bullet Boy on the first lap here of Division 1 in the new season, round the final corner he comes. With the sun glaring down through turn 16, Bullet Boy now on the run to the line. I think this is going to be a 121 to begin off with. Not a bad lap at all, 121.4, that can be improved on for sure. We have also got his teammate Spine on a lap, and he's just set a 19.9, so already we're into the 19s out on track. Cohen is on a lap though in the Red Bull, of course teaming up with Verstappen. We have got two Cohens, one of them is TTG Cohen and the other is QBR Cohen, so I now know the difference between them both. Spine and Bullet Boy the only two to set a lap currently. Cohen though coming across the line will split the two McLarens, and he goes second with a 120.6, and Boualem goes quickest by only 300th of a second in the Mercedes. The Frenchman goes quickest with a 119.933. Jumping into fifth there was Larkin on a set of hards. He will inevitably improve on that. Let's run on board with Waluigi though. Schiaparelli goes third with a 120.6. I'm going to make a prediction quite early on and say the top 10 or the top 12 are going to be in within a second of each other come the end of qualifying. I think it'll be quite close. We have got a lot of talent in Division 1 this season. Waluigi, consistent last season, the Belgian through the final corner, finishing third in the championship last season, comes across the line, and a nice lap there, finishing up his lap in 7th position, 120.8. But early on, Boualem and Spine fighting it out for provisional pole position. Let's ride on board with Neil, who's coming towards the end of his lap. I think that is Campbell going into third, or Verstappen going up to fourth. One of the two has just went up into one of those positions. Can't quite pick up on who it was. But Neil through the final corner now, the German. This is a really nice lap, I've got to be honest, from the German. Neil coming across the line now, should be there or thereabouts. It's a 120.3, it's an invalidated 120.3. June just coming in behind there and setting a 120.4. Cantera, the other Spaniard, is on the lap, of course swapping from the Renault to the Alfa Romeos this season. Cantera through turn 13, that's a Racing Point just getting out of the way, which is Mercurial Caesar. Good to have the Indian driver here, of course, this season. We've also got Alphatrix in as well in the Williams, replacing somebody else. Harrison David has just gone quickest with a 119.8. How's Cantera looking on this lap? Looking good, 5th position with a 120.2, as Mercurial Caesar has actually just crashed coming out the final corner. That was a bit strange, and Alphatrix has also gone out the session, which I think is through turn 12. On the exit of turn 12, we'll run on board with Neil just to try and pick this up. I'm pretty sure we saw a Williams on the right-hand side of the track as we come through. Yeah, there is a car on the right-hand side of the track, and that is Alphatrix, who was at the session at the very infamous turn 12. You really do like to catch out your back end there. But early on in qualifying, Harrison David on top, Boualem in second, Spine in third. Everyone now on their down laps, it seems. I don't think there's anyone really, if not, that is on a lap, except from NSX Lion, who's just started up a lap. Let's have right on board with the Dutchman. I've had the privilege of commentating on board and before in Fantari Racing League, of course. And NSX Lion applying his knowledge through turn 4 and 5. Really getting caught up on the curve, rubs against the wall. Luckily no front wing damage. That was the rear tyre rubbing against the wall there. But inevitably I think he's going to back off this lap. At 26.7 through the through the first sector, I should say. Not looking too bad there, I've got to say, through the first sector. But hopefully he can improve on this lap through the middle sector. Hopefully it's a lot more cleaner than his exit out of turn 4 and through turn 5. Line now towards the middle sector split, 48.4. You really want to be aiming for sub 48 through there if you want to set a really quick lap around Australia. Harrison David currently leading the way with Bualem and Spine, as I say, filling out the top 3 positions, and the top 12 currently separated by a second. So I think my prediction is pretty much already looking quite cosy, I've got to be honest. NSX Lion, though, through the final couple of corners. He's now through the final corner at turn 16, through the right-hander. And now about to come across the line. It's not really a great lap from him. He can improve on that to 120.5, and he jumps in between Doom and Chapelari between 7th and 9th. So Lion goes 8th with that lap. Everyone now on a set of softs going out onto their outlaps once again. We'll try and pick up on board with somebody who is on an outlap who is near the line, and it is Bullet Boy, it seems, that is going to be setting another lap. So let's ride on board with a lap on with Bullet Boy, the Brit, who is the reserve driver for McLaren, coming down into turn 1. Oh, very, very wide, and he's got caught wide there, and that, I'm afraid, is the end of his lap before it even started. I think that's Cohen just coming across in behind. It is Cohen just coming past. He's now down into turn 3. So we'll ride on board then with the Dutchman. I'll try and flip up in between the camera angles as well, between broadcast and TV pod, to provide you guys with the best possible action out on track. Cohen through the first sector, 500th up on his previous lap, a 120.619, and he is he's looking quite even there with that lap. He's probably looking around Lion's pace at the minute. But Cohen through turn 8 and 9 through the chicane, then through the sweeping left at turn 10. This is one of the only flat out corners that he can actually take out on track without braking, and he's a 10th and a half up through the middle sector, 47.999. Hopefully he won't be calling that number out on track. Of course, there's a different number in Australia for 999. Of course, Cohen coming through turn 13 though, now through 14 and 15, or through 14 and then into 15 and 16. The final 2 corners now await the Dutchman. See how he's going to do with this lap. Of course, teaming up with Campbell, his the Season 2 champion, currently in 4th. Division 2 champion, that is, 120.1. Is he going to beat his teammate? He's just 8,000 shy of him. Campbell is also on a lap, and he's a 10th up, coming down towards turn 8. There are yellow flags just ahead out on track. It's Harrison David who still is out in front. We'll ride on board with Bualem though in the meantime. The Frenchman 2/10 up in the middle sector. Looks like he's got a Renault ahead of him, which I would lead to believe it's Waluigi or Jarry on a lap. Bualem now coming through the final couple of corners, through 15 and then through the right-hander at 16. The Renault in front just coming into the pits. Bualem sliding out slightly onto the grass and again taking a bit of a wide exit. Is he going to improve ahead of his teammate? Across the line goes Bualem, and it's a 119.6. Only 6 tenths of his time trial time, I've got to be honest there. But Bualem is out on top in this qualifying session. Let's ride on board with Campbell. Comes across the line, goes second. Campbell going second ahead of Harrison David. That could be an interesting story to follow during the course of tonight. Campbell showing great pace around here in Australia, and the Division 2 champion from last season is currently second with a 119.8, and he's bettered Harrison David, who is on a lap coming through the first sector, and already he is a 10th up through the first sector. Now I have been told that him and I think it's Doom going to be running at 108 degrees by lap 2. That's what he's warned me, and he might be a little bit slow. Currently not showing it on this qualifying lap though, and he's now coming towards through turn 10 and then into the chicane at 11 and 12. He's really got to maximise the run through here. A 10th up, just cutting the curb a little bit too much, and again a little bit of a slide there out of the second half of the chicane. Has lost the time, I think, on this lap, and I have a feeling he's not going to go ahead of Campbell. He gets very wide there, and that is his lap ruin. I have a feeling that's going to be a bit of a commentator's curse later when he messages me later on. Let's ride on board with somebody else though, coming across the line. Doom with a 119.9 is catching the end of his lap there. The Spaniard goes 4th ahead of Spine, who is currently out on an outlap, and he's coming through the final sector. While Ouija just came off a lap, a 120.4, his current best, sitting in 10th position out on track. We'll try and ride on board with somebody that is on a lap. Cantera is the one that is that person. So the other Spaniard coming through turn 14 and into 15 and 16 now. The right-hander at 16, looking like a good lap. I think he's 2 tenths up in the middle sector. Neil goes 6th with the 120 flat. Cantera across the line, and he goes quicker slightly than Neil by 600ths of a second. McLaren just coming out of the pits there is, I think, Bullet Boy coming out onto an outlap. And with 5.5 minutes to go, Boualem currently out on top in qualifying, from Campbell in second, Harrison David in third, Jim in fourth, Spine in fifth. He's just started up his lap though, so let's ride on board with the Swiss man. Of course, we'll try and provide you guys with nearly everyone out on track. Alpha Trix and Cesar obviously retiring from the session. Cesar losing it out of the final corner. We saw that in the background of shot. Alpha Trix losing it through turn 12 respectively, so they're not going to be able to set a lap here in qualifying. If you are just tuning in, I'm James Head, League of Europe's leading commentator, going to be taking you through Division 1 for tonight and indeed for the rest of the season, and I'm thrilled to be bringing in the action once again as Spine is 2.5 tenths up through the middle sector. This is the guy you are on board with in the Papaya McLaren, as I'm going to call it. 1:19.9 his current best as he comes through 13 now at the end of the DRS straight. Just run a little bit wide onto the grass. Does cost you a little bit of time when you do run onto the grass, especially through the final couple of corners. It just unsettles the back end and settles the setup just that little bit much. Spine, I think, is going to go second though with this lap. He's through the final corner. Can he beat Boualem with a 1:19.6? He can. It's a 1:19.5, about 500th of a second there ahead of Boualem. So the Swiss man now out on provisional pole, with Boualem in second with a 1:19.6, and Campbell, Division 2 champion, bettering Harrison David for third at this moment in time. And Essex Lion has just came off a lap. He improved by 0.4 of a second. We caught on board with his lap earlier on, so Lion has improved to 1:20 flat and has gone 8th with that in the Williams. Bullet Boy is on a lap, I do believe, and he's 0.3 up through the first sector. Hopefully this will be looking a lot neater from him. We have rode on board with him twice before, and he has just been caught out by a couple of the corners out on track. So let's ride on board with Bullet Boy. He comes through turns 8 and 9. Just riding the curb very nicely. There can be an invalidation through there. I don't think he's picked up one though, taking the wide out line coming into turn 11 and 12. A second up on his time, and Bullet Boy looking good. It's going to be, in theory, a 1:20.4. That'll put him 12th at this stage. If he finds a little bit more time, I think Bullet Boy could be aiming himself towards June Cantera Neil sort of area. 5th, 6th and 7th. Watch out for that! He's not going to be going 5th, 6th and 7th. Again, a commentator's curse. I'm so sorry, Bullet Boy. I'm so sorry. He cannot catch a break. Luckily, he's right round at the pit lane, so he can come out on for another lap. Oh, nearly into the pit wall. But Bullet Boy recovers it just from the pit wall. Goodness me. Drama in qualifying as Cohen is on a lap in the Red Bull. 1:20.1 his current personal best. Spine and Boualem currently out on top though. Campbell and Harrison David are on outlaps. We'll go to them in just a second. Verstappen is also on the lap. We'll catch on board with him as he's actually coming through the final corner. So Verstappen through the final corner in the Toro Rosso. Dakar, his teammate of course, and he goes quicker with a 1:19.9. Let's see how Cohen's doing in behind. Cohen improves up to 8th. So Verstappen and Cohen, both QVR drivers, find a lot of time out on track. And can you look at if you look at the timing screens, it's between the top 10, it is less, it's just over 0.5 of a second between the top 10. VRT Chapelelli has retired out of the session. I'm not sure if he's lost that out on track. We'll ride on board though with somebody that we haven't got on board with as yet, Larkin, who is on a lap coming through turn 3, and the Renault actually just pulling off the side there is Xjaria, I do believe. Didn't lose it or anything. I think he was just getting out of the way of drivers behind. Yeah, there was a couple of cars coming past him, and Larkin is off on this lap as well, so he is invalidated somewhere out on track. Dakar though in the meantime is on a lap, and Campbell is also I think on a lap as well. Yeah, Campbell just in behind him out on track. There's quite a lot going on. I'm trying to scroll through, see if we've got anybody that is actually towards the end of their laps. We'll go on board with Harrison David in a little while as well. Dakar coming through the middle sector, and he's 800th up. He can improve on his time. He needs to find a lot more though in the final sector to really trouble the top 10. Dakar, I think, is only going to be improving on his position and on his time, rather than his position at this stage. That's what I was trying to say there. But Spine, Boualem, Campbell, if you're just tuning in, the top 3 in qualifying with less than a minute to go on my screen. Of course, I think it's an extra 30 seconds on everyone else's screens. Dakar through the final corner, has to find the time. It's a 1:20.2. He might just sneak into the 19s here. It's a 1:20 flat, and he goes 9th, so he actually finds a little bit more time in that final sector. Let's ride on board then with Campbell, who's just came across the line to improve to 1:19.7. The Division 2 champion looking strong. But Harrison David on the lap, coming through 11 and 12, really attacking through there. Now towards turn 13, this right-hander corner, heavy into the braking zone, about 90 mile an hour through third gear there. Harrison David 314, oh, and he's hit the wall on the outside. Harrison David hits the wall on the outside just when he was about to improve, possibly. We've got Bullet Boy just on a lap coming through the final corner. He's on an outlap. We'll try and ride on board with somebody that is near the line. Let's go on board with Cantera. He's a 10th up through the middle sector. Harrison David, Verstappen, Cohen, Bullet Boy, all not improving on their time. It's a shame because Bullet Boy was on his outlap and it looked quite tight for him. The Spaniard, though, is Doom ahead of him out on track? Yeah, Doom is just ahead of him out on track. Let's run on board with him, as I have a feeling he's invalidated on this lap, or maybe he's going to give as Boualem a quicker time. We've missed that completely. Boualem goes quickest with a 19.3. I have a feeling that's going to be very heavy to doubt. Cantera dragging to the line, only improves by a 10th, and I think, in fact, that was the best time he can do. Doom across the line, again showing the slipstream up a little bit there. Didn't really work. Campbell not improving on his lap. Let's run on board though with Larkin, who's just came across the line to go 12th. NSX Lion are coming across the line now to go 4th, the 19.7. Nice lap there. Spine, can he take it away from Boualem late on? Just rides the curb a little bit too much. Now through 16, really got to fly it out of here. Spine is going to be so close to Boualem on the times across the line. He doesn't improve really, 400ths of a second improvement. It is Boualem who takes an inaugural pole position for season 3. Round 1 here in Australia. It's Boualem the Frenchman who takes pole, with Spine in second. Let me run you through the rest of the grid order. It takes pole position, and my prediction, spot on. Less than a second separating the top 12. Fantastic. That's the first prediction I've got right so far this season. Spine in second. Campbell in third. The Division 2 champion going very well there, with Lion in fourth. Harrison David is in fifth. Cantera is in 6th, with Doom in 7th, Verstappen in 8th, Cohen in 9th, with Daka in 10th, Neo in 11th, Newell Luigi is in 12th, Larkin in 13th, Chapelelli in 14th. Could have improved if he didn't crash out of the session. Xjavi in 15th, Bullet Boy in 16th, and Caesar and Alphatrix not getting to set a lap. They crashed out very early on in the qualifying session. Hopefully everyone enjoying the stream so far. Hopefully everyone going to be enjoying the action out on track. I have a feeling it's going to be a fantastic action-packed race out on track. We're missing Montana, but it is still going to be a fascinating race. We've got the old guard against the new here for Division 1 tonight in League of Europe. And let's have a look at what you guys have been saying in the comment section. DD coming in saying, but hashtag Baguette, hashtag France, hashtag Boualem. Clear support there for Boualem. Well, he's got pole position. Can he repeat the form? We'll have to find out. Just having a look at some of the other comments. Bullet Boy saying he was 1.4 seconds up before he crashed. Had enough pace for the top 8. Good pace though nonetheless. Hopefully he can keep that consistency in the race. Doing no practice is showing here, says Larkin. Still though, a good lap, Larkin. Really nice lap from the Ferrari man, and we'll ride on board with him as we come into the formation lap. He starts 13th, so just actually 2 places behind his teammate Neo. You can really see how condensed this field will be, and it's going to be a hell of a race here for League 1, for Division 1 in League of Europe. Keep on getting myself mixed up from my commentary last night. Let's have a look at the strategies though, as we ride on board with the strategies. Of course, the top 10 qualifying on the set of soft compound of tyres that they will start on, so there's no difference there at all. They will wear out though quite quickly, and maybe a 2-stop strategy will be quicker than a 1-stop strategy for the top 10. Everyone else in behind, from 11th down to 18th, on a different strategy, so we'll try and pick out on everyone. While Luigi, Chapelelli and Caesar all starting on a set of soft compound of tyres. They are the quickest of the 3 compound of tyres if you are new to Formula 1. They are the quickest of the 3. They're going to be slightly less wearing than the guys in the top 10, but however they will go quite quick around this track. 5 or 6 laps at least before they start to blister and they start to go entirely. Medium runners are Neo, Larkin, X-Jarry and Bullet Boy, and as the title goes, bar the tyres, they are the medium compound of tyre, the middle of the 3 compound of tyres that the drivers have available here. They are relatively middle with the pace and with the tyre wear. They only lose about 3-4% per lap around here compared to the softs, which lose about 4 to 5% around here. Little differences in the percentage will make a big difference. Alphatrix starting on the hards. That's the hardest of the 3 compound of tyres, and I think Alphatrix will probably be aiming to go 1 stop, maybe the guys on the mediums as well, aiming to go 1 stop on that as well. Alphatrix should be pitting in, I would imagine, around lap 12, lap 13, if he wants to get the best out of this race and go on to a set of mediums for 16 laps. That's how I think it's going to pan out. My top 3, I'm going to go for Harrison David for the win, Boualem second, and let's throw in Campbell for third. There you go. There's my prediction. The first prediction of Division 1 and the first race of Division 1 is about to begin here in League of Europe. Hold on to your hats because it's going to be a wild and wacky ride. The 5 red lights are about to go out here in Australia. Very long hold on the lights as per usual, but it is lights out and away we go. Boualem and Spine get pretty even starts. Campbell and Lion gaining ground. There's been a few position gains further down the field, but into turn 1 Boualem leads from Spine in second, Campbell in third. We'll see how they all filter through there very nicely indeed. Everyone clean through turns 1 and 2. X-Jarry losing a position, as I say that. Chapelelli and Larkin have been caught up in a bit of contact. I think X-Jarry's just about avoided that as well. We're not sure what happened. It looked like Larkin and Chapelelli got entwined between each other. We'll right on board with that later on. But Boualem, 5/10 of a second, leads the way through the first sector. Spine in second. Campbell, the Division 2 champion from last season, is in third. Harrison David under pressure early from Lion. He's in fourth as June is dropping down the field slightly. A little bit of side-by-side action going here further down the field. Dak was up the inside of June, trying to get the move done for 10th place, but the Spaniard keeps on fighting in there. Neo is right on the back of Dakar as well. That early carnage, we'll try and pinpoint that and try and analyse that a little bit later on within the stream. But Neo on the back of Dakar. Chapelelli obviously annoyed, he leaves the session straight away. He's the only one out of the race. Larkin still going out on track. Neo trying to go around the outside here on Dakar. Not quite close enough. Caesar was trying to go up the inside there as well, nearly 3 wide into turn 13. But at the end of lap 1, it is Boualem who does lead the way by around 8/10 of a second. From Spine is in second, Campbell third, Harrison David in fourth. Let's have a look at the position gains at the end of lap 1. 4 gain for Waluigi, who's up to 8th position, trying to chase down Verstappen. But Boualem is asserting his dominance out in front of the Frenchman, leads the way from Spine in second, Campbell in third. Harrison David fourth, Lion in fifth, Cantera sixth, Verstappen in seventh, Waluigi is in 8th. June now right on the back of Cohen, who might have got a bit of a shoddy run out of turns 1 and 2. Cohen under pressure here from the Spaniard for 9th and 10th. These are not the final point scoring positions. Of course, I think the top 12 pay point scoring positions, and of course the fastest lap is available to everyone out on track as well tonight. Dakar in behind this with Neo, Bullet Boy, Caesar, Alphatrix, X-Jarry and Larkin. After that contact with Chapelelli, who is out the race, Larkin is in 17th, and he's going to have to climb Mount Everest if he wants to try and get back into this race. But June is right on the back of Cohen. We're right on board though with the Alfa Romeo. I will shut up through here because these guys will probably lift off. They do indeed lift off through there, and June just getting caught a little bit wide of the curve. Could give Dakar a bit of a run here. I think they're going to stay in position as they are, as Caesar is round, I do believe, at turn 12. I'm not sure if that was contact, retired from the session, so Caesar is out of the race early. He did get in a position from the start. Larkin was behind him by about 30 odd seconds. He could have easily continued coming to the pits and try and make it go as much as possible in the race, but Caesar has decided to retire. Out on track, I may add, in this race. At the start of lap 3 with DRS now enabled, Boualem leads by 1.6 seconds. Is that right? He can't be that clear already. Spine is in second, Campbell is in third, Caesar leads the session, Harrison David is in fourth, Lion in fifth, Cantera is in sixth, with Verstappen 7th, Waluigi 8th, Cohen, June 9th and 10th. Everyone spread out quite evenly out on track. There's no real moves going to be done out on track. We're right on board, however, with the battle for 11th and 12th. This is between Neo and Dakar, the German and the Brit, or the Scotsman, about to do battle out on track here. Obviously, Dakar will be trying to make that Toro Rosso look as wide as possible. Neil, of course, finishing up second in the drivers' standings last season, well behind Montana, but he still finished second behind him nonetheless. There's a lot of battles beginning to happen now further up the field. Lyon is under pressure now from Cantera, and is Cantera going to try and get the move done into turn 13? He thinks about it, but doesn't try and go up the inside there. So they stay as they are. And right in behind, June, right on the back of Cohen, just running slightly wide onto the grass. Dakar and Neil following a similar line in behind as well. We're right back on board with the battle for fifth, because Lyon and Cantera are going to be down side by side, I think, into turn one. Lyon hasn't got the DRS on Harrison David, so that is going to be a big disadvantage down the straight. However, Lyon has got the pace on Cantera. Still out in front though, Boulem 2 seconds clear ahead from, as we have side-by-side action between Cohen and June. Got to give each other plenty of room and keep it clean out on track. Neil has gone through on Dakar, and in fact it's side-by-side running down into turn 3. Bullet Boy and Alpha Trix trying to get involved in this as well. Neil ran the outside of Dakar through turn 3. I think the German is going to pay it off. The German gets past Dakar. Fantastic move by Neo. He's up to 11th position, and Verstappen has had a moment out of turn 5. Not sure if that was with contact with the wall. He's had contact with the wall, obviously. Not sure if he's had contact with anyone out on track. Have a feeling that was unlikely, but you never know. Well, stewards will be investigating every incident that will come about tonight if everyone does send in their stewards reports. Boulem, though, 2 seconds out in front from Spine. Campbell is in third. Harrison David is in fourth. Lyon in fifth. Cantera in sixth. Luigi is in seventh. Cohen in eighth. June in ninth. The battle you're on board with, though, if you're just tuning in, is this battle really from 10th to 13th between Neo, Dakar, Bullet Boy, and Alpha Trix. Of course, Neo, if you're just tuning in, did get the move done on Dakar, ran the outside into turn 4 with a very clean and crisp move on the Scotsman. And Bullet Boy now trying to get Alpha Trix into the back of Bullet Boy. Just slightly overruns the corner slightly. Through turn 16 they go on to lap 5. Boulem, Spine, Campbell still your top 3, and Campbell is overperforming, I think, here. Really came about of himself, the Division 2 champion, who didn't necessarily dominate. Oh, and there's an off. Bullet Boy has contacted Dakar. I'm not sure if that was a bit I don't think it was intentional at all. We saw that perfectly from the camera's perspective there. Dakar and Bullet Boy coming into contact. Bullet Boy, I think, maybe having to do the decent thing. That looked like there was a bit of desync as Neo was off just ahead of him. There's a lot of action happening here. Through turn 5 that was, Neo going off. I think if I was Bullet Boy, I would probably wait up, just lose them positions and wait up for Dakar and do the sportsmanship thing there. But Boulem really set about out in front. Maybe the dominating force here in Division 1 tonight as Spine picks up a 3-second time penalty in behind. We are going on board though with battle for 3rd and 4th, because Campbell and Harrison David's looking quite close. I'll tune into the comments section in just a moment. I'll get them up now, see what you guys are coming through. Campbell, just to confirm, was the Division 2 champion. He's currently in 3rd and now under pressure from Harrison David, of course, former Division 1 winner here in League of Europe. Yeah. And Mark coming in saying the Division 2 champ covering himself in absolute glory so far. He has driven such a good race so far, but Harrison David is one of those guys that will attack him. June is up the inside though of Cohen. He just runs slightly wide off the camber of the corner through turns 1 and 2, but job done for June, and he is into 8th position with Cohen in 9th, and Lyon has retired out of the race. Where on earth is that? VSC has been deployed, and he's gone straight on. Lyon has gone straight on down into turn 3. That is the weirdest place you could probably go off out on track. How on earth is that? There must be some sort of failure maybe. If he's had contact with another driver, that is highly unlikely, I think. Didn't see it, so I'm just commentating maybe like Free Willy at the minute, but Boulem out in front. We have got back underway though. The VSC has ended, and Boulem is actually getting a little bit of time. It's now 2 seconds the gap. 1.7 seconds it was. Spine in 2nd, Campbell in 3rd, Harrison David is in 4th. I haven't got a drink with me, by the way. I am going to have to sit and suffer through this race. So if I have to cough and like then, if I have to cough and commentate at the same time, I will do. I haven't got a drink. I failed to get one before I started the stream, which is typical of me. But anyways, Booleem, 2 seconds out in front from Spine. We'll focus our attentions though on the battle. Oh well, we were going to focus our attentions on the battle for 6th on Ouija and Doom, but Doom is into the pits. Campbell though, beginning to attack the back of the McLaren. And the Swiss man Spine, of course, a late entry into that season of Division 1. Really was consistent towards the end of the season, picking up a couple of 2nd and 3rd, and Spine now maybe seeing himself under pressure from one of the new forces of Division 1 this season, Campbell, and an old returning face in Harrison David as well. It's going to be quite an interesting battle between these three if they get close enough for the battle. Yeah, I am going to cough my way through this, but trust me, I will get through it. If I lose my voice, then so be it. But that's why I'm League of Europe's best commentator, as voted by you. Booleem, still 2 seconds out in front. Let's really take it from Campbell's perspective though, and see where he is gaining the time on Spine, if he is gaining the time on Spine. The Brit right on the back of Spine, and again, not really closing up enough. The straight's not really long enough to try and get an overtaking move done, especially down the back straight between turns 12 and 13. Not really the opportunity to get these moves done. I may remind you that this is a street circuit, as Campbell actually decides to come into the pits. Harrison David not coming in behind. Is Cantera coming in? Yes, he is. While Ouija is not into the pits. Cohen staying out for another lap as well. So Campbell and Cantera both into the pits, and a medium set of tyres goes on for Campbell. Sorry, a set of hards goes on for Campbell. That is my eyesight failing me there. And Cantera also onto a set of hards. So they'll be going one stop, possibly till the end of the race. 21 laps can make it if you are careful with the tyres. In the meantime, we'll ride on board with a developing battle currently for 6th and 7th out on track. It's between Bullet Boy and Alpha Trix. And as a result of some of the pit stops that have been made, this has really progressed these two guys up the field. They've gained 10 and 11 positions respectively, Bullet Boy and Alpha Trix. And the Williams now beginning to attack the back end of Bullet Boy. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they are on similar strategies. Bullet Boy on a set of mediums and Alpha Trix on a set of hards. We can really dissect though what happened earlier on with incident. It almost looked like they got intertwined between each other, maybe a little bit of contact. I think it was Chapelelli across on Larkin, if I'm not mistaken, if I can remember that far back. I've got short-term memory loss, so do forgive me about that. But Alpha Trix on the back of Bullet Boy. Is the reserve driver going to get the move done into turn 13? No, sits tight and just sitting behind Bullet Boy. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in though. If you are enjoying the stream out on track, I do believe there are donation links within the description which you can give money to the Australian Bushfire funds that have been put into the comment section, put into the description I should say. Even if you can spare yourself 50 pence or £1, do donate to these fabulous causes, because if you're enjoying the action out on track, your 50 pence or £1 will probably go towards saving someone's life in the Australian bushfires, and it's still not even peak season out there in Australia currently. So we do appreciate your support for that, and of course that minute silence and qualifying all adding up to our cause here tonight. But back to the action. Booleem is a second out in front, is now beginning to come under sustained pressure, and I have a feeling he's either taking it easily or those tyres are beginning to go, and I have a feeling it's the latter, because Booleem's tyres are beginning to really go, and Spine and Harrison David are beginning to get into this race all of a sudden. This has closed up the top three to just under a second out on track. We're right on board with Spine, who is on the back of Booleem, the Frenchman under pressure though from the Swiss man. This is going to be intriguing. I think the top three, or certainly the top two, I think will pit. Harrison David might have to go out on an extra lap here. Booleem is into the pit. Both Spine and Harrison David stay out. I had a feeling Spine was going to come in there. That would have been the best for a strategy, I think. So Spine leads us on to lap 10, leading the way. Everyone else quite spaced out like a washing line, to be honest, in behind. Bullet Boy and Alpha Trix now to 4th as a result. X-Jarry still yet to come into the pits. He's gone into 5th. But Booleem and Campbell on the exit of the final corner. Booleem, I think, is going to be quite easily out ahead of him. Campbell just coming across the start-finish line. It is going to be quite close, actually. And Campbell has taken the net lead of the race. So the Division 2 champion from last season actually takes the net lead of the race. Campbell now leads by about a second. Believe it or not, he does lead by about a second. The guys in front of him still yet to pit in, and it is quite evenly spaced out, which I think, for me and my voice, it is going to be quite good, quite a good thing for me to have a little bit of a rest on the stream, hopefully. But back on board with this battle for the lead is Harrison David. Oh my goodness me, how's he recovered that? How on earth has he recovered that? Got caught in the curve on the inside through turn 11, half spinning the car almost the wrong way towards turn 12, and Harrison David has done really well there to recover that car. That could have easily been front wing damage or a race ender right there. Spine now has a bit of a buffer over Harrison David, and that is really going to affect the Brits' mentality at this stage. Right on board though with a battle for now, which will be the lead of the race, currently out on track. These two still yet to pit. Alphatrix has actually got ahead of Bullet Boy. We missed that somewhere out on track. So Alphatrix now leading Bullet Boy. Xjerry trying to get closer in third place at this moment in time. Campbell and Buellem and Spine and Harrison David are going to be quite close coming down the straight. Campbell and Buellem have got out ahead of Spine. And now Buellem has put the hammer down on that last lap and really wants this. He's got 2 lap fresher tyres than Campbell. It's going to set him longer term towards the end of the race. He just runs wide of the curb coming through turn 3. Advantage Campbell at the minute, and the Division 2 champion from last season really excelling here in Division 1. It's essentially his second race in Division 1 with the being pre-season last week, but Campbell doing a good job and Buellem right in behind as well. But I'll have a look at the comment section, see what you guys have been saying. Hopefully again you're enjoying the stream tonight. And we haven't got the links in the comment section just yet. I might have to put it in after the race is actually finished, so do check after the stream is finished for the donation links. You can also find them on the Discord as well. Buellem is right on the back of Campbell though. Down into turn 13, the Frenchman locks up slightly, and again Campbell gets a bit of an advantage as Buellem maybe just over aggressively driving his way into contention. It's really not going to do his tyres any favours, to be honest, towards the end of the race. In the meantime, Harrison David launching it up the inside of Doom. He's round the outside into turn 15. That is a hell of a move if he has pulled that off, but I have a feeling Harrison David is probably going to have to give that position back. I think he has done that maybe a little bit too far back. Caught on board with that quite late on. If I've got to admit it, Buellem is going to fly past Campbell for the lead of the race, for the net lead of the race. Buellem parks the car. Campbell just gives him a bit of a shove, but Campbell now has been overtaken by Buellem. So Buellem now into the lead of the race, essentially with the 3 guys in front. Still yet to pit, and Alphatrix beginning to work those hards nicely out in front. It's 1.7 seconds the gap. Everyone quite evenly spaced out. There's going to be a lot of battling though towards the end of the race. Cantera as well, who pitted the same lap as Campbell. Just to give an update on him, he's currently in 7th out on track, getting chased down by Harrison David, who has been overtaken again by Cantera, and again Harrison David getting closer. No! What on earth happened there? Cantera hit the wall, I think, on the right-hand side. Is that Harrison David through? I don't know what happened there, but if Harrison David has pulled that off cleanly, which he has done, that's a hell of a move. Cantera hitting the wall on the right-hand side, I think, from the camera angle, the shoddy camera angle that we had, if I've got to be honest. But it is all beginning to hot up out on track here in Australia, and I speak like quite literally out on track, rather than the Australian bushfires that are affecting everyone currently in the country. Harrison David, new fastest lap of the race, 1:23.5, and Alphatrix currently leads by 2.3 seconds from Bullet Boy in second, Xjerry in third. We are on board though with Campbell and Spine. I'm going to take a 30-second break from commentary. I'll be back in 30 seconds because I need to rest my voice a little bit. We come towards the end of lap 13 and onto lap 14 we go. Alphatrix leads the way by 3.3 seconds, and Bullet Boy in second, X-Jarry is in third. Boolem in fourth. Campbell and Spine though, the current next battle for second out on track, and Spine now beginning to close in on Campbell. And Campbell hasn't really got the pace of Boolem, who was on 2-lap pressure tyres with him. Really began to put the hammer down, and Boolem maybe staking his claim for the championship already as Spine is getting closer towards the end of turn 3. Spine down the inside, very late on the brakes. Campbell saw it coming, had to give him the room. Spine late on the brakes, signed, sealed, delivered, like Stevie Wonder, my favourite catchphrase in League of Europe, and he's up into 5th place. Nice move. Harrison David now chasing down on the back of this as well. Cantera and June quite close to each other, and in fact Harrison David passed Cantera a couple of laps ago with that move down into turn 11 down the inside. Harrison David again, maybe in a little bit of a rush, eyeing up his opportunity on Campbell, picks up a 3-second time penalty for an invalidation. Campbell trying to block him, ooh, just shuts the door on him. Doesn't want to be doing that. I think Harrison David has still got the speed down the inside into turn 11. They go side by side through 11 and 12. Harrison David round the outside. Pit that up perfectly on the scenario. What a move that is by Harrison David. Campbell may weave, but that was clean as you like. That is league racing right there. That is how you pull off a move around the outside of turn 11 and 12 through the chicane. And Harrison David is up into 6th position. No complaints about that at all. So Harrison David gets past Campbell for 6th position out on track. Cantera and June in the meantime are having a battle in behind. They are 2 Alfa Romeos, 8th and 9th at the minute. 8th and 9th at the minute I should say. And they're about 3 tenths away from each other. So on similar strategies, June pitted a lap earlier than Cantera and has been let through by his teammates. So Cantera and June swapped positions. They might have just got a little bit of airtime from me there, and June has gone past on Cantera and he's up into 8th position. And they're going to be helping these guys, both of them are going to be helping these guys out. I actually think it'll be more of a disadvantage at them because they have just cost themselves a couple of tenths a second already as a result of that let through. These guys should be racing for themselves and not for their team. Even though they want to stay consistent, and I totally understand that, I think they've got a race to try and catch Campbell, who is currently in a net 4th position. If these guys want to think about the podiums, they've got to try and get a move on, and they've got to get a move on now. That is how I'm reading the situation right there. Harrison David has left Campbell though for dead after that move through turn 11 and 12. He's now in 6th position as a result. We should see the top 3 begin to pit in soon. Bullet Boy not coming into the pits. Now there's X-Jarry. All 3 of these guys, in fact, staying out on a set of hards and a set of mediums respectively. So they'll be trying to get around 11 laps or so on a set of softs. 11 laps on a set of softs is quite hard to do. You've got to try and really prioritise the pace through the first 5 or 6 laps, because that's where the tyres will be at their freshest point. After laps 5 and 6 on that stint, those tyres will begin to go, and trust me, I know that from experience. I was a league racer back in my time 2 seasons ago in the FRL, and less we say about that really the better. That's why I've gone to commentary and not to racing, because I never could get the results out on track. Harrison David, another 3 seconds arm penalty picking up there through the chicane at turn 5 and 6, and June is out the race. Oh, that's a heavy hit into the wall on the right hand side through turn 6, that is. How on earth has he lost it there? I'm really confused at how he's lost it there. June hopefully will respond in the Discord, or will respond in the comment section about that. Spine now under a bit of sustained pressure from Harrison David though in the meantime. Alphatrix though leading the way, 6.6 seconds. We are more than halfway through. Thank you everyone who is tuning in to Division 1. Of course, we have got the later leagues coming up in about half an hour's time. I think that is Division 1 and Division 2 and Division 4 I should say. Not Division 1, you're not going to be getting the second bout of me, however, tonight, which is a shame, I know. Lap 17 though, Alphatrix still lead, 7.2 seconds, really pulling out that gap. The hards working much better compared to the set of mediums for those 3 guys ahead. Boolem currently in 4th, Spine in 5th, Harrison David is in 6th, Campbell is in 7th, Cantera 8th, Waluigi 9th, Cohen in 10th, Neil in 11th, Dakar in 12th, Verstappen in 13th, and Larkin going on to a set of softs now he'll be going for the fastest lap of the race. After that early contact, remember, with Ciappellelli, we see Harrison David run miles wide through the exit of turn 6. Jim probably got on the gravel and spun into the wall due to that. Thank you very much, TDB, for that comment. That might be the best theory around that, because I really didn't catch this, and I'm not catching many of the accidents out on track tonight. Trying to give you guys the best possible action, of course. Yeah, Harrison with a great job there with that move. I'm really trying to close down now on Spine. This is the battle for 5th and 6th. This is, funny enough, the closest battle out on track as well, so we'll stick with this in a little while. I'm gone for a second and I missed 2 overtakes. Never miss an overtake in Division 1, because they're likely to be very clean, very crisp, and to the best of the driver's abilities out on track. You never miss a move here in Division 1. Spine and Alpha looking quite healthy. Yeah, I think Spine and Alpha obviously still yet to come into the pits. Could be going, I think, scrap points, maybe 9th and 10th could be on the cards for him. Obviously it is about a 24-second pit stop round here, I think. So we'll see how that is panning out. Let's have a look actually on with the leaders. 24 seconds will probably be around Waluigi Cohen sort of area. So yeah, 9th and 10th I think Alphatrix will be aiming for here. It's 9.8 seconds out in front, and clearly working the tyres to the best of those ability right there. 11 laps to go, 10.5 really if you're being picky. Alphatrix still out in front, still yet to come into the pits, as is Bullet Boy and X-Jarry. Really right on the curve through here. And Boualem catching X-Jarry and catching Bullet Boy as well. Maybe a little bit of traffic to deal with for the Frenchman. As X-Jarry, Bullet Boy knows he's coming under pressure, as X-Jarry is pressurising him now at 0.6 of a second away. And Harrison David round the outside into turn 13. Can he pull off the move? Yes, he can. Harrison David. What a move again. Really, really clean round the outside of turn 13. We caught on board with that very late, but at the moment of the overtake, which was actually done, Harrison David head off. Absolutely fantastic move, clean as you like, and this is what we have missed in League 1 from him, in Division 1 from him in League of Europe, because that, honestly, those 2 moves that he's pulled off tonight could easily be overtake of the season contenders. I have a feeling there's going to be so many better ones than that though. Fantastic move by Harrison David. Intranet 2nd place, currently 3rd out on track. Bullet Boy and X-Jarry are just rejoining out on track. Neil now into 9th as a result. Bullet Boy is in 10th, and now X-Jarry in 11th. So both of these guys on a set of softs. Let's see how they progress through the field. We're right on board with Bullet Boy, who is on the back now of the German. We'll cut him back on board with Harrison David and Spine if that gets going again. I have a feeling that won't though. Bullet Boy is now on the back of Neo and already beginning to close in. You can really see how much quicker he is compared to Neo on 13 laps older hard compound of tyres. Bullet Boy only going to be around 2% at this point. Neo will probably be about 5 times, 6 times, 7 times that, maybe around 50% mark, I would imagine. But Bullet Boy now closing in has really gained on X-Jarry already. And Bullet Boy eyeing up a move here. This is going to be easy as you like. Maybe one of the easiest overtakes you'll ever see in Division 1. Bullet Boy covers Neo off just to be sure, but it was hardly going to be inferior there. Bullet Boy gets up into 9th position. He can now focus on the hard compound of tyre guys ahead. So that's the likes of Campbell, Cantera, Waluigi and Cohen, all going to be coming under a little bit of sustained pressure. We'll cut back on board actually just in behind with X-Jarry now beginning to hunt down on Neo. This is going to be a move getting pulled off, I think, in the next lap or so. X-Jarry closing him in, the Dutchman on the German here. So a little bit of over the border rivalry going on here between the Dutchman and the German. But Neo driving a little bit flat, if I've got to be honest. Looking at his performances last season, obviously finishing 2nd in the championship in Division 1 last season, Neo. X-Jarry finishing well down the field as well in Division 1, but was consistent enough to retain his place. Neo and X-Jarry though about to get going for this move, and Boualem has just picked up a 3-second time penalty. I have a feeling that's his first one out on track, and you can see how much quicker X-Jarry is compared to Neo. And is he going to pull the move off down into turn 11? I would be not silly here and not commit this move, and that is exactly what Xjarry has not done there, commit the move. But he will open up the DRS, and again, one of the easiest moves that you'll probably ever see. Xjarry through on Neo for 10th position. Easy as you like. And Neo now will try and stick to the back of him. We'll go back on board with the battle for 3rd, because I know this is what you guys might want to see. Alphatrix is going quite deep into this race. He's 11 seconds ahead of Bualem. How on earth is he keeping up this pace is beyond me. Alphatrix really shining through here, and obviously starting down the field. In fact, I think he started last. He did start last in the race. Beautiful helicopter cam on board with the Williams driver, and Alphatrix is really going about things out on track. Honestly, if we can give him a full-time seat, it'd be absolutely fantastic, because of course the Williamses are taken up by, from the stream reveal that I saw, it's Toxic and Lion. Obviously Alphatrix replacing Toxic here tonight, and Alphatrix doing a stern job out in front. I think he's got to pit now. He'll get easily to the end of the set of softs, and then try and make his way through. He is going to be around about Cantera, Waluigi sort of area, 6th and 7th for Alphatrix. And indeed, as predicted, another prediction right for me here tonight, Alphatrix is into the pits. Harrison David and Spine though, in the meantime, we'll ride on board with how that is going to look for Alphatrix in just a couple of seconds or so. But Bualem now will take the lead of the race, and Mercedes, as in real life, dominating out on track, out in front. They now fill out the first 2 positions out on track. We'll go though to a bit of a interesting battle developing as Harrison David picked up a 3-second time penalty. Cohen and Bullet Boy, as Alphatrix is out ahead of Cantera. So pretty much around the sort of area that I was expecting him to. Alphatrix is into 5th position, and he's on a set of softs. Could he be on for a podium? Is that too much wishful thinking from me there? I think he could get a podium out of this. Bullet Boy and Cohen though. Oh, and I've missed the move. Bullet Boy had got the move done down into turn 1. And Bullet Boy is through, and he's up to P8. And now focuses his attentions on Waluigi, then maybe on Cantera, and then maybe on Campbell, who will begin to drop down the field. We'll ride though on board with the battle for 2nd and 3rd. As I know, this is going to be quite interesting towards the end of the race. We have got around 7 laps to go. Spine just getting caught out on the grass there a little bit. Harrison David will lead him into turn 13 in 2nd position. Again, just missing the apex slightly. Spine beginning to pressurise him. And 52% of ERS compared to Harrison David's 16. You can really see how this race is panning out for Spine. Driving a very conservative race with the ERS. He should now launch it up to ERS mode 4, I think, to try and get the move done. Of course, he's not going to be close enough down into turn 1, and even with ERS mode 4, he wouldn't get the move done. In fact, getting the move done in behind is Alphatrix on the back of Campbell, and Alphatrix has made that look pretty easy in the end. Got the run off the final corner, job done. He's up to 4th position, so coming out ahead of Cantera on that lap. Alphatrix now gains another position, and he's up to 4th as Bullet Boy is up the inside of Waluigi, up the inside there into turn 1. And Bullet Boy is through, and he's up to 7th position as Waluigi now could come under a little bit of sustained pressure from Cohen and Xjarry. He's on a set of softs as well. And he's just picked up a 3-second time penalty there as well. We're right on board with this. I'll try and give you a penalties update before the end of the race. Hopefully it'll all calm down by then. Cohen, though, for the KVR team, driving well in 9th. Xjarry on a much more aggressive strategy, obviously going 1 stop from mediums to the softs, really beginning to excel. And as I said earlier, scrap points was on the cards for him, and Xjarry doing a good job out on track. Let's run on board though. Larkin has left the session, which I've just picked up on. He's now down in 14th and has been lapped. You never know, there might be crashes still to come, and there might be points still available. I would honestly say, no, don't give up until you really see something going at it. And speaking of going at it, Xjarry down the inside on his fellow countryman. Ooh. And Cohen defends that perfectly right around the outside. Xjarry was alongside enough to complete the move, but he didn't. And Cohen, that's just a sign of his ability really there, Cohen. And he's in 9th place still. Good defensive driving by the Dutchman. And Xjarry as well, the other Dutchman. Now under pressure. This should be job done though for Xjarry. He's already got the move done down into turn 1. Had to wait a couple of more corners, but he gets the move done. And he's now chasing down his teammate, Waluigi, for 8th position. I have a feeling no real fight is going to be taken up with that. 5.5 laps to go though, here in Australia for round 1 of the championship. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the stream so far. As I said, the donation links will be out after the race. They are already out on Discord if you do want to donate to any of the charities that have been recommended to us for the Australian bushfires. Even if, as I say, you gave it 50 pence, what is that these days? A cost of a Freddo? Maybe even the cost of a cupcake? Something like that. You could be going, your money will probably go towards saving animals or saving people out there in the Australian bush. It's such a shame, but I have been informed wisely in the comment section that the rain is due to come on Monday and Tuesday. I think it is a tropical cyclone that is coming through over the country. It deteriorates slightly, and then it just becomes a band of rain. I think that is what the forecast is there in Australia. But Spine 3/10 behind Harrison David, as this is opportunity to try and get the move done. He's much closer now. The Swiss man trying to go around the outside. Harrison David though cuts him off. Good defensive driving there once again by Harrison David, and somebody that is just learning new assist is doing a fantastic job in second, and Alpha Trix is hunting them down. I did say a podium would be possible. Xavi's got the move done on Waluigi, by the way, down the straight into turn 1. So he's up into 8th position, Waluigi down to 9th. Watch out for Alpha Trix. We'll ride on board with him, see how quick he is going. Let's compare the lap times, actually, and have a look at the penalties while we're at it. Bualem with 2 penalties. Harrison David with 4 penalties. Spine with 2 penalties. Alpha Trix I don't think has got anything. Well done, Alpha Trix. Campbell has got a penalty. Cantera has got a penalty. Bullet Boy has got 2 penalties. Xjerry has got 3 penalties. Waluigi has got a penalty. And Cohen has got nothing. So good job, Cohen, as well. Harrison David picking up another 3-second time penalty. So that's his 4th penalty, I do believe, or 5th penalty of this race. Never know, more penalties he picks up, the more he could be getting disqualified at the end of this race. You never know. I've seen it done here before. Harrison David and Spine, but look at Alpha Trix closing in. The Williams man means business, and the Brit, who is a reserve driver, remember, in Division 1, is beginning to think and beginning to make the organisers put on point that he may deserve a full-time seat. And look at him, he's right on the back of Spine and Harrison David, regardless of the tyres that he's on, regardless of the guy slowing up ahead of him. Alpha Trix is on fire. We saw him in the pre-season race. He won the pre-season race, and he's trying to go around the outside into turn 8. This is going to be bold if he can pull this off. Spine just pushes him out of the way slightly. Not really going to work around the outside, if I've got to admit, through turn 8, but a good try nonetheless. And Alpha Trix will have to hold on through the chicane, or is he going to try and get the move done? Spine again, maybe just aggressively defending him slightly. Alpha Trix now losing out, and I think they're going to stay as they are down towards turn 13 as we are about to start lap 27. Harrison David runs wide slightly, nearly onto the grass there. Look at Alpha Trix, he wants to get through. Is he going to try and undo down the inside into turn 15? I would honestly be putting Spine under so much pressure at this stage. Spine is literally making that McLaren look as wide as possible. It may be inferior because Harrison David just beginning to try and get away with a little bit of a buffer. Spine and Alpha Trix. Alpha Trix will have to do it the hard way, and I think he'll have to do it in the middle sector, because I don't think he is close enough with this DRS train that is developing. Alpha Trix though, down the inside, much later on the brakes. Oh, talk about turning a negative into a positive. Alpha Trix down the inside. He is the GIF that keeps on giving, and Alpha Trix has got the move done. Late as you like on the brakes, down into turn 3. The Brit is through, and he's up to 3rd, and he's now focusing his intentions on the other Brit. The new blood hunting down the old guard here with 2.5 laps to go in Australia. Harrison David under sustained pressure on a set of mediums. Alpha Trix on a fresh set of softs will keep on going, I think, to the end of the race in terms of tyre wear. Bualem is out in front. There is no doubt that I think he might get this race win. Alpha Trix, though, now will have to do with the hard way. Round the outside into turn 13. This is what Harrison David did earlier on. Harrison parks the car nicely on the apex, and again, just parks that car and makes it look as wide as possible. That Mercedes is not going down without a fight, and Spine is getting into this as well. The Division 2 champion Campbell is in 5th. He won't be close enough for the battle. Dakar and Verstappen are battling further down the field. Alpha Trix now with the start finish straight. He's going to have to again do it the hard way around the outside, but that weave I think has cost Harrison David. It has, and Alpha Trix has ran the outside, and he now is into second position. Alpha Trix had to sit and wait, but patience is a virtue, and he gets the move done, and Spine is down the inside. Harrison David has to give that position up. That was a bit of a lunge down the inside. Thank you for trying, though, Spine. Harrison David into third. 1.5 laps to go. Bualem leads. Alpha Trix is in second. He can now begin to hunt down on the leader. Alpha Trix with no penalties. Bualem, I think, has got 2 or 3 penalties. So he only needs to gain. In fact, he only needs to stay as he is. Alpha Trix only needs to stay as he is, and he will complete the impossible here in Division 1. That'll be from the back to the front. He likes coming from last to first, doesn't he? Alpha Trix through the chicane now, chasing down Bualem. Obviously, it does matter. 5.9 seconds out on track. It's now 6 seconds out on track as Bualem just extends the track slightly. But Bualem is leading this race. What a fantastic race it has been. A thrilling season opener. No Montana running away with things in Division 1 tonight. But Bualem is certainly dominating and goes on to the final lap with a 5.6 second lead, but they're now pretty much split by the straight. Bualem 5.5 seconds now out in front. Alpha Trix, a Spine again is close enough to the back of Harrison David, not going to get the move done. The Swiss man under sustain, the Swiss man trying to prioritise again. Harrison David, he's going to have to do it the hard way again around the outside. He's alongside Harrison, will not give this without a fight. Spine turns into him, and will have to give that position up. I feel that was done uncleanly. I have a feeling Spine will have to give that position up. If it's not, I think it will go to the stewards. Hopefully he will do the decent thing, and hopefully he will show sportsmanship as we like to see in Division 1. Spine just couldn't have crossed him, maybe off the camera of the corner. He was looking fine. Done. He's just cut him off. Back, I feel, because Harrison was done. But drama on. They're still going for 12th and 13th. There is long. But Bualem is into the final couple of corners, and the Frenchman is going to be coming across the line in first. It has been a dominant display from the Frenchman, and the Mercedes team off on the right hand side cheer him on, but it's going to go to Alpha Trix because he hasn't got any penalties. Alpha Trix will take the win here at Australia. Bualem, I think, will be second. Spine is in third. Harrison David is in fourth, and I think may have the position swapped, I feel. Campbell has got fourth in the meantime. Cantera finishes in sixth. Harrison David drops down. Bullet Boy X Jerry across the line in eighth. Well, Ouija is in ninth. Coming across the line, Cohen actually gets up a position. Neo as well is getting position. Verstappen and Dakar have had a bit of a coming together very late on, and Verstappen in 12th position will come across the line. Larkin will come across the line in 14th. Not his day. He will be back better next week. And Dakar will be coming across the line as well to finish in 13th position after that contact with Verstappen, I think, unless he lost that out of turn 12. But it is Alpha Trix who takes the win. No penalties out on track. Remember, official, unofficial results until the stewarding reports do come through. I feel there's got to be some sort of investigation, certainly into a couple of incidents out on track. Spine and Harrison David, I think, the more one. I may be making the case really, but I've got to admit, Spine, I feel, needs to lose that third position to Harrison David. Regardless of the penalties, I think he needs to lose that third position. It's just unfair to try and complete a move like that and not wait up for the driver that has been involved. We want to see the cleanest action. And as I said last week, I may be a commentator, but I'm certainly not going to hold back on my opinions this season. You're going to feel the full wrath of me, and that is for sure. But it is Alpha Trix completing the impossible from last to first again. This guy is not human. Alphatrix wins in Australia from Buell M in second, Spine in third. Good driving by all of them. The Scotsman Campbell, the Division 2 champ, having a great race in fourth. Cantera in fifth. Harrison David dropping down to sixth as a result of all of his penalties. Cohen is in seventh. Luigi in eighth. Bullet in ninth. Neil filling out the top 10. Next, Jerry Verstappen fill out the top 12. Those are the point scoring positions. Dakar and Larkin also finishing. Doom, Lyon, Caesar and Schiaparelli all out of the race at various stages in the race. Well, that was absolutely brilliant for a Division 1 race. Obviously there might be a few investigations to do in terms of in terms of some of the incidents out on track, but I've got to say, on the whole, really great racing out on track. I think it's a phenomenal thing to be doing, and of course let's have a look and see what some of the guys have been saying. Can I say, Harrison David not happy with NSX Line. I think he should be unhappy with Spine, to be honest, but there we go. 85% tyres, he says, Harrison David as well. Williams will always win in Division 1. Yeah, Williams keeping up the good record, of course. Montana going to McLaren this season. He will be back next week, as will I. We are going to be going to Bahrain, I do believe, next week for race 2 of the season. Hopefully you can join me then. Until then, you can go and watch Division 2 and Division 4, which will be coming up in 10 minutes time. Thank you very much for watching though. I've been James Head. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.